This month marks the second anniversary from when I was let go of my old job and I started doing videography full time. Believe it or not, 30% of businesses don't make it to the 2-year mark. In this video, I'm gonna share everything that I learned in the past 24 months that will hopefully fast track you in learning how to grow your business. And hopefully you won't make some of the same mistakes that I did. Be sure to stick around to the end of the video. I'm gonna tell you a dirty secret that most online entrepreneurs won't tell you about the realities of being a business owner. So let's get started. The first lesson that I learned in business is to know your competitive advantage in the market. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, I don't have any kind of competitive advantages. I don't even know what kind of business that I wanna run. Trust me, my competitive advantage is something that anybody can replicate. My advantage was just showing up consistently and doing good work. Believe it or not, I was shocked by hearing some of my customers and clients tell me about previous photographers and videographers that they've hired. Some just tell me that they just don't show up. They'll call on the day of event, letting them know that something came up and that they would be SOL for having coverage, whether that be videography or photography for that event, even after they've already gotten paid and everything like that. I understand that life happens, but from the side of the client, that is a terrible experience. I was shocked hearing some of my clients' previous experience talking about some of the interactions that they've had with videographers and photographers in the past. One of the main things is that sometimes they're just not reliable. I had one of my first clients was telling me how he hired a guy and the guy would just hold his camera, and I don't know if he just had shaky hands or something like that, but he said that he had to reshoot because the guy that was holding the camera just could not stop shaking the camera. I don't know if that was nervousness. For me personally, that is $100 problem to solve. If you just buy a tripod, you won't have to worry about how shaky your hands are. You just put the camera on the tripod and let the client do their thing. But if nothing else, your competitive advantage has to be showing up, being honest, and doing good work. Part of the honesty is setting clear expectations up front. For example, when I was shooting kids sports for the low price of $40 a day, I let them know that they were going to get 20 unique images in less than 24 hours. Some of that is knowing your clients, and with sports, some of the deliverables involve having a quick turnaround time for whenever you take the image to getting the final product back to the client. With other type of events, that timeline isn't so urgent, so you can take your time and make sure that you put your best work forward. With sports, I like to make sure that I capture the image as close to perfect as possible on the camera, so I don't have to do so much work in post, and then get the photo back to the client as fast as possible. This is essentially knowing what your customers need and expect, and delivering those deliverables. So that's all part of doing a good job and just showing up. Eventually, you'll get to a place where you can charge more for the work that you're already doing. That leads me to number 2. Know where your potential clients are. I'm currently in my car, but I'm also taking a lunch break from the drone job that I'm shooting right now. I've carved out a niche for doing construction photography and videography, so I like to hammer in on those particular customers. For example, the job that I'm shooting now is a metal roof job. What he's really looking for is for me to take photos and videos of his completed work, which is a building that you can see. You probably can't see it, but there's a building over my shoulder that he's already finished, and now he's working on the building in front of us whenever he gets back from his lunch break. This client in particular likes to market his services on Facebook. So he likes to take the videos that I make for him, throw them up on Facebook, and then he gets clients based on word of mouth. Today, he's got a big one. He's doing a roof for a bank at 2 separate buildings right in the same parking lot. So that's awesome for him. I love helping businesses in the construction space earn more money. That's why I'm always going to different types of construction and roofing events. Hopefully, I connect with clients just like this one, and I'm able to help their businesses grow. That brings us to point number 3. No matter what it is that you do, your job is in sales. I pick up a lot of my clients through networking events. And I'm not talking about the networking events that you see hosted on Eventbrite, where you enter the room and there's a ton of people, probably between the age of 22 to early 30s, where they're, basically having cocktail hour. They're there to make friends, but they're not there to really make business connections. My crowd is Typically the older people. So I'm going to a city's Chamber of Commerce event. Typically my clients are around the age of 40 and up. I've had some young clients every now and then, but the young guys are honestly far and few between. Typically the people that I'm talking to in those events are around the age of 40 and older. But there are some young people there, not enough young people there. So if you're looking to start a business, definitely reach out to your local Chamber of Commerce. I'm pretty sure they would love to have somebody around 30 years old or younger, because there's really not that many people in that space that can help those older people. So, I mean, that's an advantage in and of itself. So if you just went to the chamber events and network with the people there, even if you don't have a business idea, just go there and just say that you want to talk to different types of people. Man, they definitely love to be able to talk to you. And if you do come out with a business idea based on some of the conversations that you've had with those people, man, you're in a prime position to be able to serve them. In the long run, that all ties back to doing sales. It feels like there's not a day that goes by where I'm not picking up the phone, calling somebody that I just met at a chamber event, where I'm saying, hey, remember me from the other night? I'm asking about what their schedule looks like for the week and trying to set an appointment with them, seeing at the very least just how I can help them with their business. If it's something that I can't personally help with, that's another contact where I can find somebody else that can help them with their business better. Number 4 is going to be a long one, but it's going to be the one that you want to hear about the most. You are the boss. Seriously, you're the boss of your own business. And to be completely honest, you're not exactly the boss. You're more of a manager. Like, I'm my own manager and I hate the guy that manages me. He's the one that's telling me, hey, you gotta wake up early and you gotta stick to the schedule. You gotta make those calls that you don't want to make. You've got to stick to all the tasks and stay on the same timeline that you promised your clients. So number 1, you can be a trustworthy business, and a trustworthy business is a business that has return clients. That means number 4, we'll call this 4.3, you get to work when you work best. I know you're probably used to working a 9-to-5 job, but when you're self-employed or you're an entrepreneur, none of that exists anymore. You don't have to wake up at the crack of dawn. You don't have to clock in at 9 o'clock. You don't have to clock out at 5 o'clock. You don't have to take a lunch break anymore. You can work as much or as little as you want. When you're just getting started off with business, it can be a little bit scary not knowing your upcoming schedule for the following week. Honestly, sometimes I don't even know what my schedule looks like the day after tomorrow. That's why you have to work when you work best. I'm an early bird. I typically wake up at around 5 a.m. I go to the gym, I come home, I eat breakfast, and then I get started with work. On a day when I'm not in the field like today, I'll probably work from the time that I finish eating breakfast to about 1 o'clock. And then from there, I'll eat lunch, and then maybe I'll push out another hour of work. But think about how you normally work at your regular work day. Some of us do our best work between 10 and 12. Honestly, you're only really going to get about 2 to 3 hours of really good work in every single day, and everything else is, a slightly less better version of that kind of work. So you really want to work when you work best so you can do your best work at that time, and then at other times you want to focus on doing other things. Other things for me would be like doing follow-up calls and learning new skills, but we'll get to the learning part later on in this video. This brings me to, let's call it 4.6. Make sure that you don't work too much, which is me speaking to me, or too little. What happens when you work too little is obvious. You don't make the amount of money that you need to pay the bills and sustain yourself. The downside of working too much is you could potentially burn yourself out. You need balance in your life where you're spending time doing other things that you enjoy other than the work that you do. I look forward to every single day in my business, and I love the jobs that I do. It's honestly like going on a field trip every day. I feel like a little kid sometimes because some of the things that I see and I experience are amazing. I get to see what other people do on a daily basis, and I get to document it and help them make money. I mean, it lights me up. Doing that over and over and over again, especially getting to the editing process, can wear me down. So I like to balance it out by doing other activities. After I'm finished working, I'm probably going to the PS5 and I'm probably putting in a few laps on Gran Turismo. If not, I'm going to be reading a book, but I'm definitely going to be doing something that I enjoy doing. Moving on to number 5. Get good at one business. In internet speak, that's called niching down or finding a niche, depending on how you pronounce it. Niche, Man, how do you pronounce niche or niche? Whatever. But I mostly promote myself as one, a drone-based business for construction clients, or two, I make commercials for every other type of business. So those are the two things that I try to nail down and perfect. Each one of those different types of clients have different types of services that I provide, but anytime that I'm speaking at like an engagement or something like that, I'm telling these type of potential clients that, hey, I'm either going to be able to make online ads or commercials that help market your business, or two, I'm going to be able to use my drone to help your job site in some way. Either that could be making videos for shareholders to monitor progress of a construction site. I can do maps. Either way, I've got some answer that I'm speaking to a potential client on. Number 6, carve out time to learn each day. Your business isn't going to grow unless you do. Normally, after 30 minutes to an hour on the game, I will take another hour to just learn a new skill. Number 1, I want to be able to offer my clients more. And the more I'm able to offer my clients, the more I'm able to charge my clients. So it's a win-win for everybody if, number 1, I'm able to make more money, so I'm able to help more and better customers. And then number 2, it's beneficial to the client because they get, better quality of videos. All right, number 7, when you finally make a profit, save a percentage for your future self and then enjoy the rest of the money today. Don't fall into the trap of spending every single dollar that you make, especially early on in your business. You get really used to spending everything because in most cases you don't make enough to cover the bills. But then when you finally do make money in excess to the necessities, don't just go spend it on the things that you feel like you've missed out on buying. Also prioritize and saving money because there may come a time where you're going to need to fall back on savings. That's why it's always important to allocate a little bit of money towards saving and also some money toward investing. That brings me to my last point. There is no shame in finding part-time work to make ends meet when you're an entrepreneur. In fact, more entrepreneurs work a part-time job than you think. Personally, last Christmas, I went and did holiday light tours on an electric bicycle with a downtown company in Dallas. It was honestly a lot of fun being a tour guide. I earned enough money to be able to pay for Christmas and to be able to buy a new MacBook, which my business desperately needed at the time. Like I said before, a lot of other entrepreneurs do go into part-time work, or they even hold down full-time jobs while they have their business. I'm surprised by some of the businesses that I interact with tell me that, oh yeah, I've got a full-time job. They do their full-time job while they do their entrepreneurial stuff as well. Mainly in those cases, they're working like a hybrid style job where they can either work from home or something a little bit different. Don't be ashamed to do any type of part-time work, especially if it's for making your business a successful one. For more videos on how to make your business successful, click here, and I'll see you over in that video. Thank you so much for watching. Since you made it to this part of the video, I would just want to say thank you so much for watching to this point. I really appreciate you for doing that, and hopefully you've learned something today that you can use to create the life that you want to live.